I asked a bunch of you guys over on my Facebook page around the end of February, I think, beginning of March, around that time, to ask me a bunch of questions, and I asked a few people on Twitter as well, and I think more people got back to me on Facebook. So yeah, we are long overdue and I apologise, but here I am now. So I'm just gonna go for first names rather than try and pronounce people's second names because I struggle with first names sometimes. So let's just stick with first names. Shannon asks, do you prefer how much your life has changed since having Athena? Would you change anything back? If so, what would it be? That's a little bit of a difficult question because obviously having Athena has changed every single aspect of my life in some shape or form. I don't think it would be possible to go back really to the person I was before I gave birth to her because I'm still sort of that person, but at the same time I'm thankful for the growth that she has brought with her, if that kind of makes sense. One thing I miss about my life before having Athena was more so the fact that, you know, I didn't have to make schedules. I don't know, everything just has to be planned more now. And I'm one of those really spontaneous people that can't really be spontaneous anymore. And I have to try to resist the temptations that I get to be as spontaneous and as crazy as I used to be because now I've got a lot more responsibility. So yeah, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't really change anything at all. It does kind of annoy me, you know, scheduling wise. I have to make time for things now in like a very awkward way, whereas beforehand I probably didn't appreciate how much free time I actually had, if that makes sense. Pascal, that's an interesting name. Pascal asked, are you worried about Athena's mental state because of your own issues with depression? Not really, and that's going to be a very strange answer for a lot of you, I think. And I'm not really worried about my mental state of mind affecting her because I don't push that onto her. I see mine and my daughter's relationship as something separate to my mental state of mind. It's my responsibility to try and keep my mental health in check as much as possible so that it doesn't affect my daughter. Obviously, my daughter's going to grow up with me being me, and obviously I do have a mental illness, but I'm not going to let that, you know, make me any less of a good parent as people that don't have bipolar disorder, for example. To me, it just kind of feels as though my brain is wired a little bit differently to everybody else's brain, and because of that, like, it doesn't necessarily mean that Athena's brain will be wired the same way. She could have, you know, traits from me in that way, in that retrospect, and a mental illness does run in my family quite strongly. So there is a chance, there is a possibility, but at the end of the day, she's going to have an understanding mother that if she goes through any anxiety, any depression, or, you know, does turn out to be bipolar for whatever reason, I'll be there for her, you know, to help her along the way. She'll never feel alone, and that's my priority. You know, I can try and be the best that I can be. That's all I want to be. I just want to give her the best that I can give her. But at the same time, you know, we're all human beings, so I'll just give her the best that I can give her because it's the best I can give her. You know, I am me, and I can't change that. Because I've become a mother doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not suffering from the same problems that I had previously. I'm just trying to get on with it the best I can. I've been through like some hard times recently, so that's definitely affected my mental state of mind, but when I've been feeling very negatively, you know, it does tend to be when I'm on my own. Like, it is mainly when I'm on my own, so Athena doesn't really see that side, so let's keep it that way. Moving on. Chloe asked, what foundation and concealer would you recommend for people who have the complexion of a sheet of paper? Hashtag pale girl problems. Well, I feel you on that. Like, I do have a yellow undertone, so I'd say that I'm not like mega pale, but I used to be. It's strange, the older I'm getting slightly more tanned. Like, my olive skin seems to be coming out a little bit more like the older I get. Like, it's really strange, but I've been there, and I feel like as I've got older, obviously my skin tone has changed and gone a tiny little bit darker, but I'm still like hella pale. I would definitely recommend the Pro Longwear Concealer by MAC. I love that. I get mine in the shade NC15, and I love that concealer because if you're having a really shitty day with your skin, you can put it all over your face in 2 pumps if you spread it like evenly with a damp beauty blender. I do that, and then I press on some of the Rimmel Stay Matte powder, and sometimes that's all I do. I'd also suggest the Kat Von D foundation. Like, that is amazing. I don't own it, but I've used it so many times, and it's just like, I just need to get around to buying it really. That's a very good one. And I swear by Revlon Colour Stay. They have ivory, which is really, really epic. I use buff because I have a yellow undertone. I would only suggest using ivory if you're a pink undertone. Personal experience and whatnot with people and myself. I'll put a list of foundations in the down bar that I recommend, especially for you, Chloe. Especially for you. Ramona asked, ever thought about getting a pet? Hell yeah, I've thought about getting a pet. Yes, I would love to become the actual crazy cat lady that owns a cat, rather than that crazy cat lady with the imaginary cats all over her clothes that's obsessed with cats, then steals her friends' cats and pets them for hours and hours on end. I would really, really like a cat, but at the same time I love dogs, like Jessie for example. She's more my grandparents' dog than my dog, but I still visualise her as my dog because I lived with my grandparents for a while and I absolutely love her. So I just love dogs and I love cats, but I'd say that I'm more driven towards cats than I am dogs. Personally, maybe it's because I'm a Leo, as strange as this is going to sound, I feel like I've already got a pet human. I would definitely say that Athena is enough for now. I don't necessarily need a pet, but I really, really think I need a cat. I need a cat. Okay, so guess what just happened to me while I was filming my Q&A? Memory card filled up, so I went and grabbed my spare memory card. That one was full as well, so I checked my laptop. I thought I'll import the footage, and guess what? It's still importing. Still. Well, it is a relatively decent sized memory card, so that's why. So I've kind of adjusted the setup. Photo booth was refusing to focus on my face, so I am now sat inside a den I've made. I feel 8 again. So I'm sorry about this. I know it's not ideal. I know we've gone from great quality to not so great quality, but bear with me. I really want to answer your questions before I have to go to Morrison's. I don't really fancy doing the 2-day video thing, which I seem to be getting in a habit of doing a lot of lately. Chrisley asked, who did Athena get her eyes from? Now, Athena, I think, has taken, like, my eye shape, but Niall's eye colour. My eyebrows, you won't be able to tell, obviously, because I shaped my eyebrows now, but when I was a baby, obviously, she's definitely got my baba eyebrows. But it's strange, she's kind of got a combination of both of our eyes. However, her expressions with her eyes, they just remind me of Niall, like, in every single way. Like, she looks like him so much. She's got my shaped head, the poor thing, but she really just looks like her daddy, I think. Dominica asked, what camera do you use for all your still shots and video? I should definitely start including this on my Facebook profile somewhere, or on my Tumblr somewhere, or on my YouTube somewhere, because a lot of people ask this. I use a Canon 60D for my really, really good quality videos and my really good quality photos. Other than that, if it's in this quality, it's on Photo Booth. But a lot of the time I use my iPhone 5S for the majority of the photos I upload to Instagram. So like all of my selfies and things like that I take with my iPhone 5S. I tend to sharpen up the image a little bit in one of my phone apps, because the iPhone camera is amazing quality, but sharpening it a little tiny bit makes it epic quality. And when I told you guys I made a den, I'm sitting in a curtain. Not many people responded on Twitter, most people responded on Facebook, so it is kind of more of a Facebook Q&A rather than an all-around social media Q&A. There's only 2 that I can find. I think there's a few more if I scroll a little bit upwards, but I don't really want to be doing any more scrolling because I've been doing a lot of scrolling today. On Twitter, I cannot pronounce that name, that username. Lalilu Leo? Lalilu. I'm sorry, I've done it again, I can't. This is the thing, Twitter isn't actual names most of the time, it's usernames. And she asks, what is your opinion on sponsored videos? This is a great question. It's a great question because I get asked a lot. A lot of people ask me, more specifically on Tumblr than Twitter or on Facebook. Well, guess what? This is a sponsored video, but would you have guessed it was a sponsored video? I'm not there yet. The pure purpose of this video is mainly to answer your guys' questions. Now, what do I think of sponsorships? Now, I hate it when YouTubers are sly about it. Like, I feel like you should always own up to something. If you're being paid to do something, I believe in always being 100% honest with my viewers. That is my #1 priority. I will never ever say something is awesome if it's not awesome, and I will never big something up for the purpose of money because it's not worth it. This brings me on to my next subject. This video is sponsored by Opinion Outpost. Opinion Outpost sponsor a lot of YouTubers' Q&A videos and various other videos, and I think if they were to sponsor any video, it should be a Q&A video, because it's my opinion, right? You're asking me questions and I'm giving you my opinion. So, with Opinion Outpost, what is it? So basically it's a website, a survey website, where you take the time between, anything between 10 to 25 minutes, roughly I would say the average survey length is. From my own personal experience, because I've checked out the website and I am actually using it, I'm not lying about that. I'm signed up to 3 different survey websites, but 2 of them I'm not really applicable to a lot of their surveys on there, which is moderately annoying. So I found out I wasn't really going on them a lot, and sometimes they can be quite time consuming, and I prefer the shorter ones because I don't really want to do a 30-minute survey for like 5p. However, Opinion Outpost are actually a relatively decent website, and companies like this are basically based around the fact that research companies need your opinion on just day-to-day things, like, you know, random things, from like the brand of milk you buy, to the radio station that you listen to like the books that you read, to like all kinds of different things. New products, food, TV, movies. So the surveys for ordinary people that give you a chance to win things like Amazon gift cards, iTunes gift cards, and various other things. It's completely free to join, and I actually joined up to it myself. It's one of those things where, like, if I'm applicable to do a survey, which there's a lot of variety on that website, there's a lot of choices and things like that, then I'll just like fill into before I watch like Grey's Anatomy or something like that, you know, if I've got the time. And it really is no biggie. By doing that, it automatically enters you into their $10,000 draw. That's a quarterly prize, and there's no limit to how many times you enter. If you're interested in Opinion Outpost, don't forget to click the link in the down bar. Be free to go and check Opinion Outpost out. However, do not feel obligated to. They did sponsor me to do this video, but I still would have done it. It's sponsorships that help YouTubers, you know, develop their careers here on YouTube. It is difficult to be a YouTuber in this day and age, and especially when people are competing with each other, you know, with the quality of their equipment and the content and all of this stuff. And if it wasn't for the people out there, you know, the companies sponsoring YouTubers to make videos like this, like, I'm not being paid a ridiculous amount of money to make a Q&A video on the internet. Sponsorships give YouTubers the opportunity to further their equipment and improve the quality and, you know, buy stuff that they need in order to make better videos, you know. If you're making a sketch video and you need costumes, you know, blah, 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 blah. And a lot of people, like, have normal jobs, like, outside of YouTube. And the people that do make YouTube videos and do it full time often have no choice other than to be sponsored, because if you are a gardener, you're going to be paid to cut the grass. I don't see anything wrong in promoting products that you like and companies that you like, and I just don't believe in being paid to say false pretenses and false statements. I will never ever advertise something that I do not think is good, and I also don't advertise things. I don't see it that way. Like, I see it more as informing people of things, or telling people my opinion on things. Like, for example, 2 minutes ago I was talking about Opinion Outpost. This is actually one of the better sites that I've come across. They contacted me, of course, otherwise I wouldn't have known about them. There's a lot of people out there that really obsess over these survey websites, and I actually think this is one of the better ones that actually kind of has a more likely outcome for you to benefit from it, rather than some of them out there which is like 10p for a 60-minute essay, and you're like, what's going on? I told you already, like 100 different newspapers and brands of cigarettes that I've seen on billboards, and I don't know what else to tell you, or it crashes halfway through. I've not had any problems with that, so I'm open about it, I'm telling you guys, but don't feel obligated or pressured to click the link. That's what I think about sponsorships. Now, the other person on Twitter, I'm afraid I can't answer your question because I closed the Twitter tab like an idiot. Closing the Twitter tab down when I wasn't done with it. Zahara asked, would you be up for doing a meetup for us fellow mental health sufferers who are mummies and daddies? It'd just be like a normal meetup, really. I don't see it as anything special because we're all a little bit bonkers. I'm clicking on a million tabs. Oh no, what's happening? What's happening? It's starting to crash on me now, and I just lost the page with all the questions. So that's probably my cue to go. So I'll put the link for Opinion Outpost in the down bar. I'm literally in a curtain. It's gone dark outside. Morrison's is probably shut now. What am I doing? On that key, I should probably go. So go crazy in the comment section, guys. Be free like the wind. Go wherever you've never gone before. I don't know. Bye, guys. Oh crap, I think someone just saw me then. I'm wondering why I'm speaking to myself.